Hey guys, today I'll be showing you how to factor quadratics and cubics, or better your understanding about factoring. So here I have my first quadratic, and it shows me that I have x squared minus 4x minus 45. So we have to think right here. 1 times negative 45. Okay, what two numbers multiply to negative 45 and add up to negative 4? So right away, off the bat, I know that negative 9 and positive 5, actually I'll do this in a different color here to make it easier to keep track of. Do green. 5x minus 45. So our two numbers that multiply to 45 are negative 9 and 5, and they also add up to negative 4. So negative 9 and 5 are the two numbers that satisfy this quadratic here for now. So now we're going to continue because it's not simplified yet. So we can take out x here on both sides. So when we divide by x here and divide negative 9x by x, it just becomes x times x minus 9. And this is just saying that if we were to multiply the x into here and into the negative 9, we'd just get x squared minus 9x. And over here we can do the same. So take out 5 because we divide by 5, try to isolate x, and then this just becomes x minus 45. So now what we can do is we see, oh wait, pardon me, not 45, just x minus 5 minus 9, sorry, oh my god, minus 9. So now we see that both of these are the same, which is good. So now our final answer would be, go back to red here, would be x minus 9, and then we would have x plus 5, because we have x here that we took out, that we divided from this over here, and then we took out the 5 from over here, 5x minus 45. So this is our factored version of quadratic here. This is a factorization of x squared minus 4x minus 45. Okay, so down here, let's see if you guys can do this. So pause this video and try to do it by yourself, and then we'll go through it. Alright, if you did it, then good job. I'm proud of you for trying. And if you didn't, that's alright. I'll take you through it. We'll go through this together. Okay, so right away, we see that there's a negative here, there's a negative here, and there's a negative here. So what we can do there is we can take out the negative. So if we just divide by negative, it's just going to be negative on the outside, so negative 1 times x plus 4x plus 3. So negative 1 here, every time we see a quadratic or a cubic, or just, we always want to take out the GCF, the greatest common factor. So the biggest number that all of these numbers can give out to simplify it. So now it's a bit easier to keep track of our quadratic here. So this just becomes 1 times 3. So what numbers that multiply to 3 and add up to 4? So we know that it's just going to be x squared. That's going to be plus 3x. And then I'll do green again. And then x plus 3. Okay, so now what we can just do here is we can, in parentheses here, x squared, I'm going to do this here, take out the x, and then this just becomes x plus 3, And then over here on this side, we can do, this is already simplified enough. So this and this are the same, but we'll just bring it down here. X plus 3. And this is just a 1 if you really want to put that there to keep track of it. So our final answer here is just going to be negative, bring down the negative 1, don't forget that, and then x plus 3, and then we're going to do x plus 1. There you go. That's your final factorization. So over here now, let's see if you can do this one on your own. So pause the video and see if you can do this by yourself. Okay. So again now, we have another quadratic here, but this time we have a coefficient in front of our variable here. So what we're going to do now is same thing as always. 4 times 4 is 16. So what numbers multiply to 16 but add up to negative 17x? Or to negative 17. So I'm just going to write this here, 4x. And then actually it's going to be a negative, but we do know that a negative and a negative make a positive. So this is just going to be negative 16x. Sorry, 4 squared minus 16x. And then this is just going to be negative x, because we need to negative 16 and negative x to become negative 17x, but also multiply to a positive. And then our 4. So here we can divide by 4, and then this just becomes, we can divide by 4x, pardon me. This becomes x minus 4. There we go. And then here we can just divide by negative 1. This becomes negative 1. Here, I'll do it in green just to make sure we can keep track of the colors of the sections easier. So this becomes negative 1 times x minus 4. And then finally, these are the same, so we know we did it right. And then our final answer would be 4x minus 1, which are our first two parts. And then it would be x minus 4. All right, so finally here, we see that we have a cubic because the degree of this polynomial is 3. So whenever we have a cubic, we can actually factor by something called grouping. So this is just like we just put these first two parts in parentheses, just like how we did up here. We put our two sections into parentheses. So this is just going to be 3x cubed minus 2x squared. So again, we're going to take out the GCF, which is in this case x squared, and then this will be 3x minus 2. Okay, and then here the GCF that we can take out is 9. So pardon me, negative 9. So it's going to be, here, let's do this in green, negative 9 times 3x minus 2. And again, these are the same, and then we can rewrite this as x squared minus 9, and then we can put 3x minus 2. But however, we're not done yet. We can still factor this right here. So what we can do to break this down is we can do x minus 3, and then x plus 3. Because negative 9, or 9, is a perfect square, and since it is a negative 9, because it's subtracting, we can do x minus 3 and then x plus 3. If it were a positive, we would have to go into imaginary numbers, and we would just leave it at that. But since it is a negative 9, we can simplify this down to x minus 3 and then x plus 3. And if you were to do your FOIL or box method, you would end up with x squared minus 9. So we just do that to simplify it. And then we bring down the 3x minus 2. So then this would be your final answer. And this would be your final answer. And this would be your final answer. And this would be your final answer. Thank you for watching.